This is Tanveer with Cries of Kashmir. The issues surrounding the Adani Group and its deals in Kenya may be briefly absent from the front pages, but you can rest assured that they are not over. The Adani saga may look like the story of an Indian conglomerate with designs on making money in Kenya. The business has used less than transparent means and the convenience of well-heeled brokers and government officials. However, I believe there may be more to the story that meets the eye. The ties between the Adani Group, specifically Gautam Adani, and India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi play a significant part in the whole affair. It is not and it won't be a secret that India, especially under Modi, has strategic national ambitions that involves the Indian Ocean region, which includes the East African coastline from Somalia down to Mozambique and island nations such as Mauritius. A friend of mine and I have been a little obsessed with the Adani Group issue, and our discussion based on publicly available information have led me to suspect there is a bigger game to play than what is on the surface. A recent conversation was sparked by this report on the BBC website. The report is about the tiny Indian Ocean island of Agilaga, home to 350 people, mainly fishers and coconut farmers. Agila is a part of the Mauritius archipelago and is 1,100 kilometers north to the Port Louis, the capital. The BBC article highlights the fact that in 2015, Mauritius signed a deal enabling India to build a vast 3,000-meter runway as well as a big new jetty as part of the two countries' deepening collaboration on maritime security. It has emerged that some Agilagans fear this could grow into a fully fledged military presence as Agilaga. Two small islands covering 25 square meters would be an ideal location for India to monitor marine traffic. They are not alone. In a 2021 article titled Naval Gazing in the Indian Ocean, Why Africa Should Worry, the International Institute for Strategic Studies said even the notion of an Indian military facility on Mauritius' Agilaga Island deserves regional and AU attention. The think tank refers to the Agila facility as a surveillance station and says it is likely to contain a coastal radar surveillance system similar to Indian-built equipment elsewhere in Mauritius. The Adani Group's connection with Mauritius go back to at least 2010. In September 2023, the Organized Crime and Corruption Reporting Project reported that millions of dollars were invested in Adani Group stocks through funds based in Mauritius. I believed that looking at the Adani Group deals in isolation from India's strategic ambitions is not allowing us to see the bigger picture. We need to acknowledge that India has very serious plans when it comes to the Indian Ocean. As such, when it comes to Adani, we have been asking the wrong questions and in fact should be wondering what India is up to. For instance, is the Adani Group Modi's and India's talking horse to pursue India's strategic ambitions in the IOR, in which case I have been playing draughts while Modi and India are playing chess. My musings have sent me down a rabbit hole of questions that have found some interesting things. First, I wanted to know exactly what was the relationship between Modi and Gautam Adani was. Elsewhere, the well-recorded relationship between Modi and Adani has generated significant attention due to the alignment of Modi's foreign policy initiatives with the global expansion of Adani's business empire. Critics argue that Modi's foreign policy trips often open doors for Adani, creating favorable conditions for the group's projects in countries such as Bangladesh, Israel, Kenya, and Tanzania. For instance, Adani's venture in ports, energy, and agriculture align closely with the Modi government's strategic goals, making Adani a national champion capable of advancing these goals abroad while benefiting from Modi's influence. A prime example of Adani's ability to secure contracts for projects in Bangladesh supported by high-level diplomatic engagements. The unmistakable strengthening of India's relationship with the countries of the IOR speaks to its significance in India's seaboard diplomacy in East Africa. India has invested in these nations through trade, security operations, and infrastructure development, and consolidated relationships through defense agreements involving naval exercises and joint development projects. It is this, aided by the Adani Group's investment, that will contribute to India's attempt to carve a sphere of influence in East Africa, where China has also been quite active in infrastructure investment. In the final analysis, however, India's ambition in the Indian Ocean align with the desire to secure trade, enhance regional influence, and counter China's growing presence. It is the strategy that has strengthened its relationship with African nations along with Indian Ocean and seaboard, especially Mauritius, Kenya, and Tanzania, which share mutual security and economic interest with India. The involvement in China, the USA, and to a lesser extent Russia as layers of complexity, making the Indian Ocean a critical arena of the strategic rivalry, where India seeks to assert its influence while managing relationship with these powers.